If you're a developer and especially a Python developer, I think you're going to enjoy this new project Groovy from Gradio. In this video, we are going to install this Groovy on our local system, and then I will show you a couple of examples as how it works. So what exactly is this project? In this project, what Gradio is trying to do, it is trying to bridge the language gap. What it means is that if you're a Python developer and still you want the speed of a JavaScript, you can obtain that with Groovy. If you're a developer in Python, you know that Python is probably one of the simplest language out there, and yet JavaScript is probably one of the fastest languages out there which are commonly in use. That is where this Groovy is trying to help. So what Groovy primarily is, it is simply a transpiler, or in simple words, it is a software that converts a Python code to JavaScript. You can write the functions in familiar Python syntax and then run them with JavaScript's client-side speed after getting it converted or transpiling it through Groovy. And you can also receive clear error messages when code cannot be transpiled. Now, all well and said, but this project is still very new, and don't expect it to translate or transpile your very complex Python code into JavaScript, but still I think a very good start. And Gradio itself has said that they are not attempting to replace JavaScript, because what Groovy is doing, Groovy is prioritizing transparency over complete language coverage, making it a practical tool rather than a theoretical exercise. And which I believe is quite good, that it is not trying to do everything out there. So let's try to get it installed and we will see how it works. Let me also give a huge thanks to Mast Compute who are sponsoring the VM for this video. If you're looking to rent a VM or GPU or CPU on very affordable prices, you can find the link to their website in video's description. Plus, I'm also going to give you a coupon code of 50% discount for range of VMs and GPUs, so please do check them out. This is the VM which I'm using, Ubuntu 22.04, but wherever you have Python installed, you can install Groovy easily. First up, let me create a virtual environment with Conda. This is not mandatory, but always a good practice to create a virtual environment. And that is done. Installing Groovy is also quite straightforward. It is simple pip command that pip install Groovy, and you can see that Groovy is already installed. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to use this Python code, which is a very simple function, some range, and I'm just importing the transpile from Groovy, and I'm going to run Groovy on this Python code to transpile it into JavaScript code. So let me go back to the terminal and run this. And there you go. So as soon as I have run this, it has converted into a very simple to understand JavaScript code. And if I go back to this VS Code window, you can see that all we have done, we have just imported the transpile, and then on this function, we have invoked this transpile function, and it has just converted the JavaScript code and we have printed it out, as you can see here in this window. Now the thing which I really like about this output or the JavaScript code is that it hasn't really changed the JavaScript code much. So it is not an optimizer, it is not a code shrinker or code rewriter, and it has returned exactly the same function as is, and this primarily helps us in keeping the spirit and semantic of our original code. Now, internal implementation of the transpiled JavaScript function may differ slightly from this Python version. For example, Python tuples may get converted to JavaScript arrays, but what Groovy tries to do, it tries to guarantee that the return values will be identical for the same input. Now what happens when it encounters an error? So for example, let me paste another code. So I have just put it in this code here. So if it encounters unsupported syntax, it is going to throw the exception. So I'm just going to go here. Let's clear the screen to make it easier to read, and then let me run this. There you go. Okay, so it says name transpile is not identified. So another thing, so let me go back and show you what has happened here, because I haven't imported it. So let me go back and run this That was not the function I wanted to show you. Let's go here. Let me clear it and then let's run. There you go. This is what I wanted to show you. See, so it is handling the ambiguities. So it is encountering this unsupported syntax, and it is very clearly telling us or throwing the exception with all the issues along with the line numbers and the code that caused the issue. So that is how you can fix it quite easily. And just imagine that if you use it with any code based LLM like Anthropic's Claude Sonnet or any other model, code stall from Mistral, this is going to help that a lot in terms of debugging. And let's suppose it encounters an ambiguity in the code. So for instance, let me give it an ambiguous type. Let's go here and then simply use this here. This is an ambiguous type. So what happens here? Let's go back, clear the screen, and then run this. There you go. See, it tells you that it is an ambiguous operation. So because plus could mean different things in JavaScript depending on the type. So it could be string concatenation versus numeric addition, or even a custom behavior for a custom class. So you need to add type hints because it is quite recommended, where it will then remove the ambiguity. So for example, to fix the above ambiguity, what you can simply do sorry, you can just use this typed hints, and then if you run it again, there you go. So this time it has done well, and then of course you can just print it out. Like I'll just print it out to see what happens here. Sorry, I'm just showing you on the fly. It's not as clean a code as it should be, but anyway, there you go. So, and there are a lot of supported syntax which you can check out from their GitHub repo, which I will drop the link in video's description. So already I think this project is few days old, I believe, or maybe a couple of weeks old, and already there are a lot of innovation happening. I can already see that there are a lot of pull requests which have been made onto the project. And because if you have been following my channel, you know that I use Python a lot, and I think that if we could use this speed of JavaScript with Python, that will be sublime in my opinion. But if you're a Java developer or if you are a Python developer, please share your thoughts, because I'm not really developer. So I will take your advice, I will take your thoughts on this tool, as what do you think about it. I just understand that this tool might not be able to do all of it completely, as I said at the start of the video, but let me know. Before I let you go, let me also introduce you to the sponsors of the video, who are Camel AI. Camel is an open source community focused on building multi-agents infrastructures for finding the scaling laws of agents with applications in data generation, task automation, and world simulation. And I will also drop the link to their website in video's description. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're already subscribed, please share it among your network, as it helps a lot. Thank you for watching.